I've lived in Germany for almost 2 years now, and I've been learning German ever since I got here. And you must be thinking, 2 years, I must be at least at C1. And that would sadly be wrong. I'm currently only at B2, and perhaps the learning process wasn't the most optimal for me, which is why I'm making today's video. If I had to learn German from scratch all over again, here's exactly how I would do it. Tip number 1, tune your algorithm for German content. One of the most underrated ways to expose yourself to German content is to literally retrain your social media algorithm. We already spend hours scrolling every day. Instead of fighting it, you might as well just turn it into this fun, productive learning habit. Now, this is probably not doable from the start, but once you reach around A2, when you can understand basic sentences, then you're ready to consume German content. You can start by liking, saving, and engaging with German content. You can follow creators, you can search for topics of your own interest, you can watch reels or even comment on posts, and within a few days your algorithm will start shifting, and now you'll be exposed daily to culture, slang, humor, etc. For me, this was especially powerful towards the end of A2. It genuinely felt like unlocking a new world. It's like German became part of my daily life. It also feels like you're living in a simulation of day-to-day life in Germany, so in a sense you're not just learning the language, but you're also preparing yourself for life here in Germany. Tip number 2, watch Easy German. This one honestly is my favorite one because they're just so great. And no, definitely not sponsored by them. Easy German is a YouTube channel that features a series of videos that start from simple conversations to movies like speaking, and it's all with subtitles. Me personally, what I really like about them is that they feature these series called Slow German, where they intentionally speak much slower and clearer. And thanks to that, you can start watching their videos at A1 level and you would understand decently. They also have other series where they dedicate videos to specific prepositions and adverbs, for example, zu or nach, for example, and their videos are fun and structured. If I were to start learning again, I would at least watch one of their videos per day. If I know anything in German today, probably 50% of it is thanks to them, especially the listening part. Tip number 3, don't fear engaging in conversations. When I first started learning, I always thought there was no point in speaking to people in German, whether at the university or with cashiers at Lidl or wherever, mostly out of fear that I would get blocked and embarrassed. I would literally ask people to switch to English under no pressure. In the beginning, I could barely spot any familiar words during a conversation. And by the time I took it all in, it's already too late. What I would say to my older self is that that's completely normal and natural. When you're in the learning process and you speak to people in German, in no way are you supposed to sound smooth. The way to actually see it is that you're only doing it to practice your reflexes. Now, before we go any further, I think it's important to note that it's probably not a good idea to attempt and speak German everywhere. I mean, I wouldn't advise you to go, for example, to Stadthaus or Rathaus, apply for a residence permit and you try and practice your German with the lady over there. It's probably not a good idea. Your life depends on it, so you might want to communicate clearly. That's not the place to do that. And also, to be honest, people there are a little out of patience, so it's one of the worst places to do that, actually. What I'm saying is only go for German if the outcome of the conversation simply doesn't matter that much. And to put it in other words, only go German when you feel like you have a thing or two to practice. I mean, you can't possibly practice German when you don't know nothing. So, I mean, you need to know a few things and then you go out there and you practice them with people and you see how that goes. Tip number 4. Don't ignore pronunciation. You may have an above average level or even a good level in German, but if your pronunciation is incorrect, then you still sound bad, especially to native Germans. Having good pronunciation can really level up the way you sound, and it can also make up for imperfections that you may have while you're speaking. Making mistakes like saying Straße instead of Straße, or schon instead of schön, or Welle instead of Welle, can really make you sound like an absolute beginner, even if your level is good. Tip number 5, read out loud. And yes, no matter your level, just to be able to train your mouth to the German way of speaking. For me, in most conversations I've been in, I always have an idea of what to say, but I'm so not used to saying it out loud that it all gets tangled up in my head when I try to reply. And that's mainly due to the fact that I completely ignored reading in the start. So definitely something to keep in mind. Tip number 6. Don't enroll in the university language course until at least B1 or B2. This is a very personal point for me because I've completed all levels of the university, and this is mostly for the people who don't plan to learn the language before they move to Germany, which is mostly international students who are completing a master's, for example. The language teaching system at most universities here in Germany is simply too long and slow. You have to spend 6 months before you can upgrade levels, and classes are just way too spread out over a long period of time. And I get why students fight for it. I get it. It's free. However, the learning curve is just too slow. Something I regret especially is spending 6 months in A1. I mean, that's just a complete waste of time. And honestly, same for B1 and A2, but especially A1. And don't get me wrong, if you're a student on a budget, university courses should be your go-to. But otherwise, investing a little bit of money into a private accelerated course can really save you huge amounts of time. So that was it for today's video. I'm an international student completing a master's degree here in Dortmund. I'll be making content about school, about life in Germany. So if you enjoy this type of content, then I encourage you to subscribe to the channel and follow along the journey.